Hey, Greg. Thanks for the time. Joe Chats on Tap Sportsnet. Curious with Cincinnati coming up this week, the reverse fixture. It's a 3-2 game. So many chances for you guys in front of net. How does that help you prepare for a game when you had a lot of successes but didn't necessarily turn them into goals, but you could see, the progress at that early point of the season?
Um, yeah, I think that was our first home loss, and disappointed with the result. That's the game where the referee tripped Mauricio, and they got their first goal. But it's a good team. It's been a good team for the last 3 years in the league, and they're a tough team. Very clear identity of what they're trying to do, and and they have a good home record. So for us, it's going to be about how do we continue to keep our momentum away from home on the road and perform well against a team that's in a good position in the Eastern Conference.
Hey, Coach. First question for me, short one. Just wondering if you have any updates on Romy, who's coming back, Kellen, who we didn't see out there today, and Carlos Teran as well.
They're all out for the game. Yep.
And then specifically with center back, it's been a rotating door as who's been next to Jack Elliott. Carlos is in the rumor mill again. So I'm wondering how you feel about that position at this point in the season.
No, I agree with what you're saying. It has been an interesting position this year for the team and for the club in terms of having to rotate number of players through. Jack's the only constant there, and then we've played a number of players in that position. Cups went down. He had a good start, and then he went down. Sam's been out at times. Carlos has been out for a lot. Omar, has played in games. So, for us, it's been a little bit frustrated that we haven't had continuity in that position. But it is what it is. And what I would say is that in that position, a lot of people have gotten opportunities. So, you get a number of guys playing, and we'll just have to see and keep trying to improve.
Tim Hossie, Red 97. Thanks for the time. So this is it's another 2-game week with a quick turnaround to go to Minnesota. Both teams kind of play somewhat similar styles at times. They're comfortable playing against the ball. They can hurt you quickly. You've said that the team has struggled at home before against the top teams sometimes and wasn't able to get results. How important is it to get results in at least Saturday's match to help go into Tuesday's match against two teams that can kind of hurt you in similar ways?
It's just as important as every other match. I think we go into every game. You guys hear me every week say the same story, right? We prepare to win every single match. There hasn't been one game that we're going in asking to tie it. But we also know the opponent probably has the same objective, and we know it's a difficult league. So for us, it's about preparing and trying to compete for all we can to get a win.
Greg, looking at Cincinnati specifically, Evander's been a guy who all over MLS has really, shown his quality. What do you think makes him such a good player in this league and, one of the players who can lead a team to great heights as we're seeing with Cincinnati?
He's an amazing player. When you look at his skill set, it just blows you away. And I think that's what it is, his technique, his vision, his awareness of space. Fantastic player, the way he strikes a ball, the way he can finish. Deceptively quick, I think. Deceptively fast in a way. But really talented player. And it's great that the league is able to attract players like that because he, I think, is a top player.
Coach, with the absences in midfield that you mentioned with Romy and Kellen, there's a possibility for Jay Davila to get more minutes. Obviously, he came with big expectations, big price tag. Wondering what you can do with him to get more out of him at this point in the year looking forward.
It's a double-edged sword almost because what we're trying to do is give him experience in game time, but we're also trying to win games, and it's challenging. You just can't hand a guy, minutes. And we were able to give him 45 minutes last week, up 3-0 at halftime. And what we have to do is continue to work with him in training. And he's a young player, and I think people think because of his size that he's older and he has more experience. He's a young player, and like any young player, they just need time to develop. The challenge is trying to get him on the field right now.
Another position where there's been kind of like a shortage of bodies at times. Left back, Gutman's the only one that has been, on the bench for a lot of, or like in the lineup for a lot of the games. Chase Gasper looks like he's close to returning. But at the other side, on right back, there's been two guys. We typically have Dean, starting, but we've also seen Barroso get starts. How do you view the fullback position core right now?
No, I agree. I think we're lacking depth on the left-hand side right now. I think it's a positive thing that Chase is coming back, gaining his fitness. He's been out for a while. On the right side, we're very comfortable with the depth we have now. At one stage, we're using Amari at right back. Remember that? Yeah. And so, with those two, with Dean and Barroso down, so now we have bodies back, and I think we're in a good spot. Oh, there we go.
I'm just wondering, with the Gold Cup final on Sunday, if you have any words watching that from a different perspective and having had the opportunity to go up to Minnesota last week as well.
Yeah, I think that it's an interesting journey that the team has been taking, and what you see is the group growing and becoming closer as a group. And I think the timing is perfect to be able to play a final. And we all know what U.S.-Mexico games are and what they mean. And, I've always looked at it as, we want to maintain our superiority in the region, and this is another opportunity to do that. So excited for the game, excited to watch it. A shame I'm not going to be able to be there, but, we'll be watching from afar.